So, we meet again. Nice to see you all. Everybody who's returned. 2 people are here so far. I made a new sign. You like it? Okay. The Druckmans, they're always here. I think the Druckmans would be sick of me by now, but I guess not. All right, who else is here today that I can say hello to? Well, let's see. Elio and Elisa are here, and Silas and Joel and Nora and Eloise, Natalie and Vincent, and Sam is here, and Erica and Ian from Virginia, and Jensen and Kinsey, and Evan from Wisconsin is here. Avery and Ethan and Dylan and Julie and Josh and Evan and Andrea and Landon and Arabella and Carter and Quinn and Johnny and Teddy and the Zebley boys, and let's see, Peyton and Logan, and thank you all for coming back for week 4. We'll get started in 4 minutes, everybody. New sign. I drew that myself. Just copied one of Jim's pictures. Okay, Emma and Maddie are here, and so is Chase and Gavin in Newtown, PA. Joshua and Chris and Lucy from Washington, D.C. is here, and Marty and Ryan and Anna and Rhodia, Calvin, Dean, Elaine from Texas, and Ava from Dallas, also in Texas, and Kaylee from Kentucky. Connor, another Kaylee, and JD are here. All right, I'm so glad you're all here, and I'm here, and we're all doing okay. Abby from New Jersey. Eric and Ella. We got 3 minutes to go, you guys. 3 minutes. Reagan, call your friends. Quick, get them on the phone. Get them over here. Why are they not here? Let's see. Joshua and Jordan from Georgia, and Lena and Maddox and Taylor and Peyton and so many people. So happy. I hope you all had a great weekend. It's weird, the weekends now. Are they even weekends? They're all the same. They all blend into one another now. We're going to get started in 3 minutes, everyone. 3 minutes. There's 685 of you here so far. Get some more in a couple minutes. 699 and 698. Somebody left. How dare they? 706. I'll take a sip of water. Hope everybody's ready for a new book today. Our 4th book together. I wonder how many we'll get through before you guys have to go back to school. It's been really fun for me, but I'm sure you all wish you could go back to school too. Hey, maybe when this is over, we'll do like bedtime stories or something so that we could still do it after you go back to school. That'd be cool. Okay, 2 minutes. 2 minutes to go. All right. We just got our 800th person in the room. This room is getting very crowded. Oh, 1 minute to go. Uh-oh. It's time to get nervous. I think every time I do this, I get a little bit less nervous. Okay. 1:59. Okay. $869 people. Come on, we need 1,000 people here. What's taking them? Who are the stragglers? Okay, about to click. About to click. It's go time, baby. Hi, Dan Gutman here. Nice to see you all again. I'm the guy who writes the My Weird School series. And thank you all for coming. Who's calling me? But today, welcome back to week 4 of my weird read aloud. And let's start with the question of the day. Okay. The question of the day is from, let's see, it's from Ethan from Bay City, Michigan. And Ethan asked, do you have a favorite book that you've written? And the answer is, Ethan, actually, yes, I do. I have a favorite one of my books, and it's one you probably never heard of, actually, because it wasn't very successful. But it's called Johnny Hangtime. And it's a story about a kid who is a Hollywood stuntman. And he's always jumping out of windows, and having himself set on fire. It's really exciting, and I think it's my best book. I really do. But it wasn't a very successful book, so you probably never heard of it. But it's for kids, I'd say, 3rd grade and up. And I hope you'll check it out because I'm really proud of it, and it deserves to have an audience. Okay, so that's the question of the day, and let's see. It's time to start a new book today, and the new book that we're starting today is, as you know, Dr. Snow Has Got to Go. Okay, and this is the first book in the My Weirderest School series, and I'll just show you the back cover so you can read the description with me. Everybody read it with me. Elementary school is having a science fair. Guest scientist Dr. Snow has arrived to help AJ and his friends conduct their own cool experiments. But what is the snowman really planning? And what does STEM even stand for anyway? Okay, so that's the book of the day. And this book is dedicated to my daughter, Emma, who inspired the whole series to begin with. And this book has most My Weird School books have usually like 10 or 11 chapters. This one only has 8 chapters. It's the same length, but it only has 8 chapters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read 2 chapters a day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We'll finish the book on Thursday this week. And on Friday, I'm going to have a special surprise. Ooh, I love surprises, said Andrea. So there'll be a special surprise on Friday. Okay, are you guys ready? Okay, gather around your computers, your widescreen TVs, your tablets, your smartphones, your whatever you're watching on, and let's start chapter 1 of Dr. Snow, which is titled, oops, wait a minute, it's titled The L Word. Ooh, has nothing to do with the TV show, The L Word, by the way. Okay, here we go. My name is AJ, and I love peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. That's right, I love peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And I'm not ashamed to say it out loud, right in the middle of the vomitorium. And here's a picture of AJ enjoying a peanut butter and jelly sandwich in the vomitorium with his friends. Okay. What? Shouted Michael, who never ties his shoes. AJ, did you just say the L word? AJ said the L word, shouted Ryan, who will eat anything, even stuff that isn't food. AJ said the L word, shouted Neil, who we call the nude kid even though he wears clothes. AJ said the L word, shouted Alexia, this girl who rides a skateboard all the time. In case you were wondering, everybody was shouting that I said the L word. Everybody was staring at me like I had just grown a 3rd eyeball in the middle of my head. They all looked like they were going to faint. Big deal, I said. I love skateboarding. I love playing football. I love my parents. I love pizza. I think that's just wonderful, Arlo, said Andrea Young, this annoying girl with curly brown hair. She calls me by my real name because she knows I don't like it. It's good to talk about the things you love. I love school. I love singing and dancing and reading Shakespeare and learning new things and getting good grades and... Ooh, Ryan said. AJ and Andrea are talking about the things they love. They must be in love. when are you going to get married?" asked Michael. The truth is, I love peanut butter and jelly sandwiches because they are awesome. I love peanut butter. I love jelly. When you put peanut butter and jelly together, they're even more awesome than they were in separate jars. "Saying the word love out loud means you're becoming more mature, Arlo," said Andrea. "I'm so glad to hear that you're turning over a new leaf." "What? I didn't turn any leaves over. What do leaves have to do with anything? And why would anybody bother turning over a leaf? Leaves are pretty much the same on both sides, so it's a waste of time to turn them over. Why can't a truck full of leaves fall on Andrea's head?" All right, that's chapter 1. Are you ready for chapter 2? Let's do it. Chapter 2 is titled STEM. I go to elementary school. It was named after a rich lady named Ella Mentry. So it has the perfect name, Elementary School. Mrs. Mentry used to be a teacher at our school a long time ago, when dinosaurs walked the earth. After she retired, she donated $1 million to the school. Mrs. Mentry is really old now and walks with a cane. She still lives in the neighborhood. So if she forgets her name, she can just walk over to the school and see it on the sign. One time, she came to visit and a food fight broke out in the vomitorium. That was weird. But last week, the weirdest thing in the history of the world happened. Our teacher, Mr. Cooper, came running into the classroom. Well, that's not the weird part. Mr. Cooper comes running into our classroom every day. The weird part was what happened next. A meteorite crashed through the window, smashed into the whiteboard in a giant fireball, and knocked Mr. Cooper onto the floor. Here's one of Jim's pictures of exactly that. Okay, that didn't really happen. But I thought it would be more interesting than saying that Mr. Cooper tripped over his shoelaces. That's what actually happened. Mr. Cooper thinks he's a superhero, which is why he wears a cape all the time. Only superheroes wear capes. Nobody knows why. But that's the first rule of being a superhero. "I'm okay," Mr. Cooper said, jumping to his feet. "Let's start our day, shall we? Turn to page 23 in your math books." Ugh, I hate math. Why do we have to study math? Isn't that why Benjamin Franklin invented the calculator? All right, I just made that up, okay. That's not true. Luckily, we didn't have to do math because at that moment, an announcement came over the loudspeaker. "All classes, please report to the all-purpose room for a surprise assembly." Ooh. Surprise assemblies have the perfect name because you never know what's going to happen there. It's like opening up your birthday presents. "Not again," groaned Mr. Cooper. "Okay, Pringle up, everybody." We lined up like Pringles and walked 1,100,000 miles to the all-purpose room, which we call the all-porpoise room, even though there are no dolphins in there. I wish there were dolphins in the all-purpose room. It would be like SeaWorld. But the all-purpose room is just a big room with a bunch of chairs and a stage. We had to sit boy, girl, to make sure that we wouldn't talk to anybody we liked. I had to sit next to little Miss Know-It-All Andrea and her crybaby friend Emily. Ugh, disgusting. Here's a picture of AJ sitting between Andrea on the right and Emily on the left. Unless that's reversed. I don't know. Okay. Everybody sat down. Mr. Cooper told us to sit up straight. So we had to sit down and sit up at the same time. That was weird. I couldn't wait for the big surprise. We were all glued to our seats. Well, not really. That would be weird. Why would anybody glue himself to a seat? How would you get the glue off your pants? You'll never believe who walked out on the stage at that moment. You probably think it was our principal, Mr. Klutz, but it wasn't. So na boo boo on you. It was our science teacher, Mr. Docker. He's weird. Mr. Docker has a car that runs on potatoes. You can read about it in a book called Mr. Docker is Off His Rocker. But not now. Good morning, elementary students, Mr. Docker said. Do you kids know what STEM stands for? Sweet tomato elbow macaroni, somebody shouted. Sleeping turtles exit Maryland. Smart telephones eliminate money. Stop trying to eat monsters. No, said Mr. Docker. STEM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. Oh. I have good news and bad news for you, Mr. Docker told us. The bad news is that our school's STEM scores are way down from last year. So I got permission from Mr. Klutz to bring in my old college roommate to help us with STEM, the world-famous scientist, Dr. Melvin Snow. Please give him a round of applause. Dr. Snow, come on out here. We all clapped our hands in a circle, which means you're supposed to do wait a minute. Let me try that again. We all clapped our hands in a circle, which is what you're supposed to do anytime anybody gets introduced. Nobody knows why. Dr. Snow came out from behind the stage. He had really frizzy hair and a weird look in his eyes. And here's one of Jim's pictures of Dr. Snow and Mr. Docker. Mr. Docker is obviously the short one. Okay. Snowman, said Mr. Docker as he hugged Dr. Snow. I guess that's Dr. Snow's nickname. That snowman guy looks crazy, I whispered to Andrea. What makes you think that? She replied. Look at his wild frizzy hair, I told her. Anybody who has wild frizzy hair must be crazy. You shouldn't judge people by the way their hair looks, Arlo, Andrea told me. You're just stereotyping Dr. Snow. How can you type on a stereo? Arlo, I was beginning to think you had matured, Andrea told me, but I guess I was wrong. When are you going to grow up? In about 10 years, I told her. When are you going to grow down? Andrea rolled her eyes, so I knew I won the argument. At that point, the weirdest thing in the history of the world happened. The snowman took a balloon out of his pocket and blew it up. Then he tied a knot on the end. Watch this, he said. If I rub this balloon against my head, it will stick to the wall. Your head will stick to the wall? I asked. Not my head, he replied. I'm going to stick the balloon to the wall. Oh, that's different. The snowman rubbed the balloon against his frizzy hair. Then he put the balloon against the wall. And you know what? It stuck, just like he said it would. Everybody went, wow, which is mom upside down. Rubbing the balloon against my hair added electrons to the surface of the balloon, said the snowman. So the wall was more positively charged than the balloon. That's science. Does anybody have a question for Dr. Snow? Asked Mr. Docker. Yeah, I said. Why would anybody want to stick a balloon to a wall? For the fun of it, replied the snowman. Science is fun. Any other questions? Asked Mr. Docker. Andrea waved her hand in the air like she was washing a big window with a rag. So of course, she got called on. "You said you had good news and bad news," said Andrea, "but you only told us the bad news. What's the good news?" "Oh, yes, I almost forgot," said Mr. Docker. "The good news is that elementary school is going to have a fair." "A fair? I love fairs." "Yay!" everybody shouted. Fairs are cool. You get to play games and eat cotton candy and go on rides and win stuffed animals and... "We're going to have a science fair," said the snowman. "What?" Well, that's chapter 2. Tomorrow, same time, same place, we're going to read chapter 3, Brainstorming. But before you go, how about a joke for the day? You ready for a joke? Okay, here we go. Here's the joke. All right. What do you call a person who can do really fast alterations of your clothes? Give up? Taylor Swift. Ha ha! All right. This was fun, you guys. I will see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, right here. Read like crazy. Wash your hands like crazy. See you tomorrow.